All right, Vessels, welcome back to Tony Talks Vested Up Compelling Sports Edge. Oh, you know what we're here for. We're here for Karmelo Anthony. Today is day 56 since Karmelo Anthony was wrongfully convicted for first degree. Basic Collins County had said that they showed proof of intent, they showed proof of premeditation. We're almost there, y'all. 15 days to August the 19th, 16 days from August the 20th. And we're still standing here. We're still standing strong. And we're still saying, free Karmelo Anthony, free Karmelo Anthony, free Karmelo Anthony. I'm not going to hold you long tonight, but I do have a full lineup. I went out there and I did some more investigations. And Nancy Grace, I'm assuming before the guilty verdict, she had did a video before the guilty verdict. And so I'm going to bring that to you tonight. Yeah, I'm going to bring that to you tonight. Now I see why so many people got the wrong narratives about this story and the truth that actually happened under the tent. Before I go into that, let me go ahead and bring this up here real quick. Like I said, 56 days, and we still standing strong with Karmelo Anthony. But welcome to Tony Talks Vested Up Compelling Sports Edge. You know what? While the slides is coming up, let me go ahead and let's refresh everybody's mind on what was said outside of the Metcalf's family. Come on with it.
On a lot of machines, and it didn't take long for them to come in to say that he had passed. So not sure, senseless act of a boy that was in the wrong tent, and my son doing the right thing by telling that boy that he needed to be removed from where he was, and just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
Tell me about Austin. What do you want people to know about your boy?
He was the most amazing kid.
Watch this, y'all.
Oh, so smart. He had college football guys looking at him to play in college. His goal was to play in college. He just wanted to play football. His life was going to the gym and working out and being a leader on his football team. And he just had such ambitions and a drive that it's hard to find in a kid. And he's just such a good spirit, and so many kids loved him, and his brother's lost his best friend.
They're twins, right?
Yeah, identical twins. Yeah. They've been like, they are the best of friends. Like, just, I'm so worried about my son, because he's gonna have to face this world alone now, because he had a brother that was with him the whole time, and now he's gonna have to do it alone. And I'm just so worried about him. I really am.
Was Hunter with Austin Teddy?
He was. They made him go away when they were doing CPR on him, but he was there when he was stabbed, and he was holding, I guess, the wound to keep it from. He was trying to save his brother, but I think he said he saw when he took his last breath, and before the CPR came back in. So. For what I heard, he was unresponsive for 5 minutes. They were able to revive him a little, but I think I think.
Oh, one, y'all. Let me bring her back up to the stage.
Gonna have to do it alone, and I'm just so worried about him. I really am.
Was Hunter with Austin Teddy?
He was. They made him go away when they were doing CPR on him, but he was there when he was stabbed, and he was holding, I guess, the wound to keep it from. He was trying to save his brother, but I think he said he saw when he took his last breath, and before the CPR came back in. So for what I heard, he was unresponsive for 5 minutes. They were able to revive him a little, but I think it was too little too late.
What can the community do for your family?
They need to support the kids at the school. Austin was loved by so many people. They need to know that there's other people out there for them, and not.
I'm sorry, y'all. I can't take it no more. I'm sorry. I cannot take it no more. Especially knowing hindsight 2020 that even the prosecution know exactly who her son was and who her other son is that's still alive, and that is Hunter Metcalf. Oh, when I said a few weeks ago that this family, when a certain sector of America, because we already know it's some black Americans who was bowing down to this family here, thought that Austin could do no wrong, I still feel conflicted for them, because when they find out exactly how Karmelo Anthony was railroaded in this case and how they came up with the charges to fit the narrative, instead of just giving this young man due process, focusing on his civil rights, actually listening to the evidence, giving everything in consideration, I wonder what they're going to say. Knowing that they gave almost $100,000 to this family who had known bullies in the family, both Austin and Hunter, because the prosecution said, I already showed it to you, even the prosecution knew that Hunter in paragraph 23 was the first aggressor in this whole encounter. But Nancy Grace, yeah, I got to get on her again because I didn't know she had to do two videos regarding this incident here. Now, the second incident, Jeff Metcalf was not on here, so she was just referring to, the case per se, right? And then I saw what she did because I was kind of confused. I'm like, why is Nancy Grace talking in past tense, right? So what she did was she did the live stream of the video before the conviction, and I'm assuming after the conviction she reposted it. So I said, okay, that's why she's talking in the terms that she was using to another a defense attorney. But come on, let me finish this here.
Against them, and Frisco Memorial has got a.
Okay, so no. Come on to the stage, Hunter. Let's refresh everybody's mind.
My family, so we'll just stay together. I mean, our relationship is really the tightest I've ever seen in somebody, like between two human beings. I mean, we did everything together, clean the dishes together, do the yard work together, sports, you name anything in the world, it's always us two and one thing. So you're always just basically one person.
You guys just a few minutes apart?
4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Austin was first by 4 minutes. He got stuck in me.
So technically your bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. He does a lot of big brother stuff around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what it is. So it's just really heartbreaking to see.
That part is true. Let's keep going.
See someone that cares for you that much and does everything even by your side no matter what, just pass away like that.
Mm-hmm. Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, you need to move. He's like, make me move. Austin grabbed his backpack. This kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see. Reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, you need to move. He's like, make me move. Austin grabbed his backpack. This kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could. Reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, you need to move. He's like, make me move. Austin grabbed his backpack. This kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could. Reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, you need to move. He's like, make me move.
Now, in this particular video, yes, I was repeating it over and over and over. This was weeks ago, and I want to highlight this right here. I had somebody come under my video, one of my videos, and they had the nerve to tell me that I didn't know what I was talking about regarding the weight difference between disparities between the two young men. We're talking about Karmelo, 130 to 160, depending on the source. And we're talking about Austin Metcalf, who somebody said was only 185. That was a lie. Let me go ahead and play this right here. What his mother said. So if you came back to this live tonight, you know exactly who I'm talking to. And like I said, if you got an issue when I say that Hunter and Austin was over 220 pounds, you need to go to the mother and have her correct her own statement regarding her own kids. Hold one. Hold one. That's the last video that I tried to upload. Here we go.
Communicates and has great ways with people all the time. Man, I always looked up to him for like that. He wasn't a big brother in a sense. He was the same age, but he was a big brother than me.
We just want to make sure that everybody knows how much that Austin is going to be still in our lives, as far as in our memories and our hearts forever. You know, it's going to be really hard. This is going to be really hard.
I see how much you guys love and adore him.
Yeah, I'm really trying not to cry, but it's
No, Mr. Baby.
yeah. He was my big baby. He was 225 pounds. Both of them big boys, and I loved movie time with them.
So when I brought up the size differences, it does make a difference. And then for anybody that you know who you are. If you want to come back into this video and argue with me again, please go away. Please go away and contact Hunter Metcalf and Austin Metcalf's mother regarding their weight. She just said he was 220 pounds, 25 pounds. I rounded up to 230. Same thing to me. Same thing. Now, let me go back here. Here we go. Now, if you came in early, you already know where I'm going with this. Karmelo Anthony hearing dates. Here we go. Here's the right slides. Let's just go ahead, because in 15 days, we're going to hear the motion to recuse Judge Roach. That seemed like that's going to be a slam dunk. He did it to himself. However, the most important motion to me is going to be the 20th. The 19th is 20th, but the 19th is just as important as the 20th of August. But August, the 20th, will be the one that's going to tell it all. And we may have some exciting and surprising outcomes. Yes, I said it, surprising and outcomes in that trial. Hopefully it is public. Several investors said they will be there. I'm assuming they live in Texas. So please reach out to me after the fact if it is not publicized. Let's keep going. This is what it is. This is what it was. Over what? Now it is 15 months. 15 months after the fact. And just to let you know, the picture here with Austin Metcalf, very old picture. You remember they kept flashing this all across the TV? Yeah, he was much lighter in terms of weight, but this, like, he was probably even a freshman at this time. Freshman. He definitely wasn't the junior. Really should have been senior, right? But let's keep going. They also asked Judge Roach to be removed from the post-trial hearings because of alleged bias. Found in court filings, Anthony lawyer said the judge made comments to news reporters following the trial and expressed personal concerns about the propriety and the correctness of the jury's verdict, the fairness of the trial, and the correctness of the judge's own ruling during the trial. Of course, Judge Roach, he did this even before Karmelo Anthony filed an appeal. He did this not knowing that the grainy video, I'm assuming somebody released a grainy video, and he definitely did this before knowing that Karmelo Anthony, and within less than a week of him being found guilty, the dream team of 6 high-profile lawyers in Texas was going to be assembled. He didn't know all this. I think Judge Roach is definitely rethinking all of his actions, right? When a reporter asked Roach if the jury got it right, he responded, yes, they did. Oh, Judge Roach, the confidence that you had knowing that the whole entire defense hands and strategy was tied up in that gentleman's agreement. Let's not forget this. The judge then reportedly explained him and talked to him about the ruling. The defense argued that the judge's personal views suggested his probable decisions on a motion for a new trial. What's new? A different Collins County judge will hold a hearing. That's not true. Judge Sid L. Harrell, he's out of San Antonio. I think it's the 494th District Court. So that's not true. That's not true. But the next statement is true. The next day, the defense team will argue their motions for a new trial. Come on with it. Come on with it. Now, this is what I got an issue with. And I'm going to play a clip from Nancy Grace, right? Because I'm pretty sure she kind of spawned this here. But there's no evidence that the two young men knew each other. That's what I had an issue with, the premeditation. But of course, she's going to spin it. Anthony has been since transported to the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, where he was then transported to his unit of assignment at the unit pack near Navesto. Evidence for the trial, including security and police body cam, was released by Collins County judge last month. We already know this, right? Now, I got an issue with this, y'all. Guess what I found? Guess what I found here in this article right here? Guess what I found in this article right here? I wasn't looking for it. It just really popped up. I think I typed in Karmelo Anthony latest news or Karmelo Anthony case, and this particular article popped up. I said, well, just let me read this, because there go that infamous weapon that we all know about, right? But which they didn't bring to court for whatever reason. Now, I will give Nancy Grace some credit in this video that I caught over the last couple of days, because even she was saying, well, why they wasn't going to bring, when it came up to the bond hearing, she said, no jury want to see no pictures. No judge want to see no pictures. Where is the weapon? Why they didn't bring the weapon? And I think Nancy caught herself, because you can see y'all know how Nancy Grace's personality is. She was like, she started questioning. She started going in the right direction, but I guess she kind of remembered who her audience was, and she kind of let her foot off the gas. But I'm going to show you something here. Now, this is what I want to show you here. Y'all remember when we heard that some of the witnesses changed their testimony, and Judge Roach, in his infamous, that's the word for the night, infamous 18-minute video, where he said he cared about the witnesses not changing their testimony. We was like, what? We caught that, right? Hold on. This right here, this is the actual article. Courthouse News Service. I don't know who it is, but you can see when I retrieved it. I retrieved it today, Tuesday, August the 4th, 2026. Listen to this. Texas judge released grimsly evidence from murder trial of Karmelo Anthony, right? Let's keep going. Judge Roach Jr. made public images of the homicide weapon autopsy. No, he didn't. Unless he's telling me that picture that I always used to display, was that the only autopsy? Can't be. And surveillance video showing Karmelo Anthony tripling and falling over the breaches as he ran away from the killing. He ran away to get help. Let's keep going. Hold on. I want to show y'all something. I really want to show y'all something here. Okay. First paragraph. Second paragraph. Collins County District Judge John Roach released more than 6 gigabits of evidence. That's facts. Surveillance footage distorted. 911 calls and photos of the murder weapon autopsy. So they still referring that to the autopsy. I may have to pull that back up, because it looked like a draft. But if that's the autopsy, well, that's the funny thing, because let's not forget, they didn't even bring the autopsy, the official autopsy, to the court. The ME was referring to it, but they didn't bring the official autopsy to court, right? Now, yes, I'm going to refresh you. I'm going to refresh you as much as I can, because guess what? 15 and 16 days. Karmelo Anthony, at least on the 20th. I don't know about the 19th, but on the 20th, 99.9% of all defendants, they report to their motion for a new trial, unless there is a special request not for him to a report. I cannot see that in this case here. I cannot see that in this case. Yes, I want to see the young man. I want to see his eyes. I want to see his spirit. I want to see his demeanor, because Karmelo Anthony, I hope and I know and I pray and I have faith that he's been getting all of our prayers, all of our attentions in the spirit. I want to see him healthy. I want to see his eyes. I want to feel his energy. I want to see Karmelo Anthony. After 56 days, after being wrongfully convicted, I want to see Karmelo Anthony. But I want to show you this here. Juries deliberated for 3 hours. Facts, not facts. 30 minutes, they deliberated for 30 minutes, and it took 2 hours and a half for the sentencing. But hey, it is what it is. Juries deliberated for 3 hours on June the 9th before convicting Karmelo Anthony, 19, of Frisco after a 2-week trial. Do y'all see this right here? Why are they lying? Why are they lying when it was only what? June the 4th, 5th, 6th, and Monday. 4 days. 4 days. But you know why they got to beat this up? Because even they know this was the... Hold on. I don't want to find it right now. I don't want to get distracted. Stay one. I got somebody that started on Nancy Grace in the beginning of the video. He said he's never heard of a jury coming back so fast. And everybody was on one accord. You don't got to take my word for it. Hold on. I want to show you something in this article right here. Besides some of the other lies. But I want to show you something. Now, this article also says the jury rejected a lesser manslaughter charge. And after 2 more hours of deliberations, see, here go another lie. It didn't happen in 5 hours. Sentenced him to 35 years in prison, declining to find the killing resulted in certain passion. Jury, you were very bold and confident to decline a lesser charge. Jury, what did you see in that video that we didn't see? But hold on. Here we go. Anthony has constantly maintained that he acted in self-defense when he popped Metcalf 17, and Karmelo Anthony was 17 also, after being told to leave and shoved inside of, even this said he was shoved, inside the Memorial High School tent during the rainy track meet on April the 2nd, 2025. One thing it didn't say that he was also jumped in that video and that another fight ensued after he left the vicinity. Let's not forget of that. There's going to be maybe so many things come out on the 20th. And let's remind you, it's already predicted that the 20th the coverage is going to go for a full day. So I cannot see Karmelo Anthony being in that courtroom when they're going to discuss the motion for a new trial for a whole entire day. Y'all, it could be some evidence. It could be some evidence requested and talked about. August the 20th. Let's keep going. Hold on. I want to get to you. I want to get to it. Let me go directly to where I want to be. Hold on. I want to tell you what a witness said. A witness said, this article said that a witness basically changed their story. Okay, I got to read the whole thing. Images of the murder weapon was also released showing a gray handle utility knife with a 3.5 blade. The evidence released also included an uncensored close-up photo of Metcalf's 2-inch chest wound. That is true. That is chest. Prosecution witness testified that Anthony cursed at, provoked, and insulted students after being asked. That's what the prosecution witness said. After being asked to leave the tent. A 16-year-old Memorial student said he heard Anthony call the other students. Y'all see that right there? Who were not going to do nothing when he refused. Boy, they laid this thing on thick. Oh, they laid this thing on thick for Karmelo Anthony. Look at this. Prosecution witness testified that Anthony cursed. This is perjury. Cursed at, provoked, and insulted students after being asked to leave, right? A 16-year-old student said he heard Anthony call the students a bunch of peas who were not going to do anything about it when he refused. Here we go. A centennial student. So this is somebody on Karmelo Anthony's team, right? Watch this. A centennial student who testified to the defense acknowledged under cross-examination, y'all hold y'all breath, that he was mistaken when he initially said Anthony was surrounded before the stabbing. He testified Anthony was surrounded afterwards. Now, whoa. We saw the video, even a distorted video. Where was Karmelo Anthony surrounded after the incident? And this is somebody that was in his own school. And they don't think that nobody tampered with the witness. They don't think nobody coerced the witness to change their stories. Listen, I want to read this again. A centennial student who testified for the defense acknowledged under cross-examination that he made a mistake when he initially said Anthony was surrounded before the stabbing. Y'all, this goes along with the video. Now, whatever pressure he experienced, he testified Anthony was surrounded afterwards. Somebody had that young man change his story, allegedly. But hey, he the one said it. The article is the one that said it. So I'm going to take off allegedly. The article said, let's keep going. Anthony's attorney has criticized the noise and completely false information surrounding the trial. Oh, Mike Howard, this is before your affidavit, which have drawn national attention. Online misinformation involving a white victim and black defendant. It should have been a white aggressor and a black victim. There were no black jurors on a 12-person jury selected from a pool of over 500 people, and all the blacks were struck down during the 3 days. So you mean to tell me it took longer? It took longer for the jury selection for a 12-person jury to consider Karmelo Anthony's actions under that day, even the punishment. 3 days to select a jury. Hold this now. It's gonna be important. Roach allowed prosecutors to strike the remaining 3 black potential jurors. Despite the bastion challenge from Karmelo Anthony attorneys, prosecutors successfully argued that the 3 were struck. Hold on, did I cut it off? Struck for the race-neutral reasons for being educated of school-age children. What this article didn't say that 2 white educators was allowed to be on in the jury. But so now that's just a refresher. Now I want y'all to hear this right here. 1 second. Now forgive me. Now this may not be the one, but let me play this one.
Attempt. Straight out to special guest joining us, Katie Barber, senior.
That's not the one. Hold on.
Claiming Metcalf, quote, put his hands on him. Anthony, here's the officer saying he has the alleged stabbing suspect in custody. And Anthony replies, I'm not alleged. I did it.
Wow. I'm not alleged. I did it.
See?
Joining me now, in addition to our other guest, Barry Hutchinson.
That's not the one. Hold on. I want y'all to hear what this gentleman said about the jury. He was surprised that the jury came back so quick. Hold on. It's at the beginning.
Let me go straight out to a special guest joining us. Also, like Lisa Herrick, joining us from this jurisdiction, Dr. Kendall Crowns with us, Chief Medical Examiner, Tarrant County. That's for.
Oh, now he gonna have something to say. Hold on.
In high school, you do argue about that, and that's what this entire case was about in terms of what started the disagreement, what became the argument that ended in the death of Austin Metcalf. The jury decides guilty after just 3 hours. Randy Kessler, attorney out of Atlanta, longtime part of Nancy Grace's show over the years. Randy, give me your ideas and thoughts about the jury verdict. Let's start with just the verdict of Karmelo Anthony.
Now, before I play this, let me set the stage. It took 30 minutes to find him guilty and 2.5 hours for the punishment phase. Keeping that in mind when this man is talking, because he's going to say some things, and I say, you know what? Allege, I'm going to suspect that even the jury was part of this collusion. Let's keep going.
Thousands of thoughts going through my mind, right? And you hit on a few times the fact that it was only 3 hours. You know, sometimes it could take 3 hours to pick a foreperson. It could take 3 hours to figure out where the jurors want to sit while they're deliberating. To come up with a verdict in 3 hours on a murder case. You know, this isn't a shoplifting. This is something that's very serious. You want to make sure that our system, that the people think about it, take it seriously, which, you know, every time you talk to a jury after the case, it's amazing how seriously jurors take this, even though no one wants to be on a jury. Once you're on it and you're sworn in, and you see how serious the results are going to be and the consequences for the community and for the defendant, people take it seriously. 3 hours, defense really didn't have much of a shot. When it goes 3 hours, you know that there's not a lot you could have done. This was going to be a guilty. Just a question of was it going to be 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or 5 or 6. As a defense lawyer, the more they deliberate, the more holes are being poked, the more questions are being asked, the more you are hopeful and optimistic. And if you can get them to deliberate overnight and go home and sleep on it and think, do I want to put somebody away for something I'm not sure they intended to do, that's better. When it comes back in 3 hours, your heart sinks as a defense lawyer.
When the jury gets their instructions from the judge and they go back to the room, to the deliberation room, that the first thing they do is determine who's going to be the foreperson, right? Who's going to be in charge of the jury? Okay. Once they've decided that, and you mentioned sometimes that can take an extended period of time. I've never been in that situation, so I only know what I've been told. But once that jury foreperson is picked, do most juries immediately go ahead and, hey, let's get a vote out there and find out where we are?
Yeah, a lot of times you want to get a read on the jury, but again, there's no playbook for this. Nobody, you know, unless you've been a foreperson before, and then you're only basing it on your 1 or 2 or 3 experiences. You know, you haven't read a book on how to be a foreperson. You know, that's definitely what we hear, that people say, let's read the room. And what's interesting to me is, you know, and I teach a class on jury trials at Emory Law School, and we get to watch the jury deliberate. The student's final exam is a trial, and then you watch the jury deliberate. And it's fascinating because after the trial, and you ask the jury, okay, so what do you think? It's like 12 people saw different trials. A lot of times it's like you go to a movie with a friend and you come out and you say, well, didn't you hate that guy? And you say, no, I like that guy. You know, they all pick up on different things. So sometimes just herding the cats and getting them to figure out where they're together and where they're apart can take time. So it's really amazing. They seem to be on the same page or get on the same page pretty darn quickly.
Did y'all hear what he said? He said, and we already know that we can watch the same show, the same movie, and we're going to come out with different attitudes, different perspectives, different opinions. And y'all hear what he said? He said he's surprised that all of them got on the same page just that quick. Hold on. Let me rewind it.
And then you watch the jury deliberate, and it's fascinating because after the trial, and you ask the jury, okay, so what do you think? It's like 12 people saw different trials. A lot of times it's like you go to a movie with a friend and you come out and you say, well, didn't you hate that guy? And you say, no, I like that guy. You know, they all pick up on different things. So sometimes just herding the cats and getting them to figure out where they're together and where they're apart can take time. So it's really amazing. They seem to be on the same page or get on the same page pretty darn quickly.
One thing that
let's think about this for real, right? If these 12 people was total strangers, right, and they actually went into this with no preconceived notions, no bias, no collusion, no agreements, right? Because even to me, I can say this because I'm a U.S. citizen. It seemed like also the juries had a secret agreement going on behind the scenes. But let's think about this: 12 people that's never seen each other before, didn't know each other, went into an isolated room, and the 30 minutes included walking to there and walking back. And you mean to tell me that Collins County had such a close case that 12 people with different backgrounds, with different sexes, ideals, beliefs, in 30 minutes all said, we're not going to even consider the lesser charge of manslaughter, and now we're going to go ahead and find him guilty. First degree homicide. 12 people on the same accord. He said that he's a defense attorney. He said he's seen where it took at least 3 hours for a jury to decide the foreman. And if you don't know who the foreman is, think about, you got the group of jury and you got somebody that's going to speak for the whole entire group. So that's the foreman. That'll be the foreman that actually brings out the verdict written on a piece of paper and hand it to the bailiff. He'll hand it to the judge, and he or she is the person that stands up and read, we find the defendant guilty or not guilty of such charge. So that's the foreman. He said he's seen where it took 3 hours just for that person to be identified. Collins County, you got a lot of questions to answer. Let me see. It's almost done.
I've seen, and when I hear of a 3-hour, jury deliberation, my first thought is they all sat through the same thing as you mentioned, and you're going to be using your brain along the way, regardless of what instructions you're given about anything. All of us have a tendency to judge things as we go through, and determining. Am I hearing the truth, or am I hearing a version of the truth? What am I hearing from this particular person? And once they're back there, it seems to me like you would have a pretty strong idea of what you think happened at that point. So a jury comes. Go ahead.
Yeah, you would think that all 12 jurors would come to the same conclusion because they all heard the same thing. People hear things differently. They see and hear emphasis on things differently. Not only the evidence, but even the instructions from the judge, they might hear differently. There's those jokes about the people that see the sign out by the beach that says no swimming allowed, and someone else sees it as no, swimming allowed. How you hear things, how you see things comes from your history. That's why jury selection is so important. Do people follow the rules? Is it somebody who's been through a situation like this, somebody who's going to empathize or sympathize with the defendant or the victim or the judge or the lawyers? That jury voir dire, picking the jury, should take a lot longer than it typically does. So it's not surprising to me as a trial lawyer that when you get the juries into the room to deliberate, they don't always say, yeah, we all heard it the same way. I mean, we're not robots. That's why we have a jury system. If it was robotic, if it was AI, if it was artificial intelligence, there'd be calculations, check the box, guilty, period.
Now, in this particular case, was there any one thing in the trial that would have had the most impact later on with jurors? And again, only deliberating 3 hours, they probably all heard everything and made decisions along the way to point them in that direction, and then getting together and agreeing. Was there any one thing at trial that actually proved the point of the prosecution?
I think it's just a question of that situation. If they saw themselves in that situation, how would they act? And nobody wants to say, oh, I would have stabbed somebody. And nobody would think, oh, I would have...
Let me pause. Nobody could say, this is how I would respond under that tent, because even for the jury, it was distorted and blurred out. That's my thing. This jury, I'm starting to look at this jury totally different, because, and I'm going to go back to what I said many, many times before, and over the 56 days that we've been meeting, Karmelo Anthony has been wrongfully convicted for 56 days. And once again, I know we talked about the jury. I know we talked about the instructions of the jury, the jury's oath, their responsibilities. They have the duty to scrutinize anything and make sure beyond a reasonable doubt, they know that the defendant, and in this case, Karmelo Anthony, is totally guilty. But without no surveillance footage showing that he actually did it, they took that distorted video as gospel. They didn't question the jury didn't even question, why is the video distorted? Somebody at least should have said, hey, judge, hey, prosecutor, the foreman in this case, hey, we cannot make an honest and true decision based off the evidence. Why didn't they? Of course, I'm being sarcastic because we know why. But for real, who with common sense find somebody guilty on a video that you couldn't see? Let's keep going.
Expect to be stabbed. It's just a set of facts, and every lawyer I've seen comment on this, and every show I've seen, and every report on it, everyone seems to think it was predetermined that this was a hard case, because you take your body of life and you come to the situation. Who could have thought of a different way that it could have been handled? Everybody, right? You don't walk into someone's tent, you don't start a fight, you don't, even if it was provoked, even if it was self-defense, stabbing someone in the heart because they were in your, they wouldn't let you in their tent.
And he stabbed him in the heart. He stabbed him in the chest. And that young man was under distress. That young man got jumped. And if he was the one, because still Karmelo Anthony I would have to hear it come out of his mouth that he actually did the poking. I'm sorry. Even if he was in a headlock or even standing up at that angle, I can't see it. I can't see it. We went over there. Remember the scene reconstruction? We went over there. I cannot see, even for certified forensic scientists had an issue with the angle of the wound. Let's not forget this now. I still say it had to be somebody left-handed. And so many people came under that video and said that Hunter was left-handed. Let's not forget the angle of the wound. I'm gonna try to dig that up. But I wonder why these lawyers haven't said nothing since Mike Howard's affidavit has come out. Now, mind you, they did this, I'm going to say 24 hours or 48 hours after the guilty verdict. Mike Howard's affidavit was dropped on social media and internet in less than 30 days. Why nobody hasn't come out and said nothing about Mike Howard's affidavit? Oh, they know they can't touch that? But they should have had integrity and said, my Lord, look, they should have had to say, you know what? This new information has been brought to me, and everything that I said, I'm going to void it out. I forgot what it said. I forgot what the word was, but I'm just going to remove everything that I said. And now I'm going to go into this thing with new eyes, because this Mike Howard's affidavit has been a bombshell and a smoking gun. Nobody has said that. Nobody said that except for all of the content creators that was up and talking about Karmelo Anthony Case at that time when it dropped on Juneteenth. That weekend right there, woo, it was fire on YouTube. The video dropped on June the 19th, and when Mike Howard's when my Karmelo Anthony appeal packet dropped on the 9th of July. Oh my gosh, blistering.
Just, it was a hard one, and I don't think there's one factor. I don't think there is. The whole case was sort of an A plus B equals C. He brought a knife to, the joke is he brought a knife to a gunfight. He brought a knife to a track meet. He brought a knife to practice. So there was some premeditation or some plan that he might have to use it. And then he pulled it out and stabbed somebody.
Do y'all see why people think that Karmelo Anthony is the unaliver they really think he is? Because you see how people is talking about how they have took one side of whoever started this narrative that Karmelo Anthony did this. Karmelo Anthony took him out to the track meet with premeditated. Do y'all hear this? And this is a defense attorney. He should have had changed his words around a little bit, but I'm gonna keep going.
The only way to get around that would be to testify. And of course, that's always a risk, and he didn't testify in his own defense. But when you say that it's self-defense and I was defending myself, I think the jury's got to see you and hear you and taste you and feel you and believe you that you really were fearful for your life and that you had no other choice. It's hard to have a third party argue, oh, he was defending himself, that's why he stabbed him. That sounds like after the fact rationale.
And we already know why he didn't testify, because of Mike Howard, Shook, Bill Whiskey, and the judge. And can I say Mike Howard also? That's why he didn't testify. But guess what? They don't have to come out. They don't have to refute anything, rebut anything, clear their conscience of anything, because guess what? In 15 days, in 16 days, we will hear Karmelo Anthony new legal team argue The defendant's request for a new trial. Come on with it and appeal, and appeal, and appeal, and appeal, and appeal. 15 days, 16 days. It's coming. It's coming.
And it's exactly how it played out in court, that it didn't work. The idea that it was self-defense.
Okay, yeah. Let me drop that down. Let me go here. Let me go ahead and remove this one right here. I'm just going to go ahead and remove everyone that I play. Let me see here. Let me go. Let's hear from this medical.
Never lack of business
examiner.
in that morgue. Esteemed lecturer at the Burnett School of Medicine at TCU, Texas Christian University, and launching a brand new podcast, Mayhem in the Morgue, April 14. Dr. Kendall Crowns, I know you've studied the case very carefully. Was there a way his twin brother could have saved Austin?
Listen.
No, there wouldn't have been, because the stab wound was in the heart. Unless he could be gotten to an emergency room like immediately, and they may have been able to save him, but more likely than not, he was going to die anyway. That type of injury to the heart, there's just really no coming back unless you're basically in the OR when you get stabbed.
Explain why.
Because it's your heart.
I hate to stop this, but she said that he's been following the case. So he don't know that Austin was struck in the chest, not the heart. See, even he, a medical examiner, he's using all of the talking points that's been on those type of news channels. Lord, and guess what? He will be corrected. He's about to be corrected, y'all. Trust me.
You know, it's all your blood's coming through there. It's all being pumped out. And then when you have a hole in your heart, it's bleeding into your chest cavity, and you have to close that hole up in the heart. So you'd have to crack the chest open, get in there and try and fix the heart. And there's just so much blood loss because of the size of the hole. It's near impossible to save that individual. And just putting pressure on it at the scene, all that's going to create is they're just going to bleed into their chest cavity.
I'm just thinking about what you're saying, Dr. Kendall Crowns, because Katie Barber, was Austin stabbed in the heart?
The arrest document states he was stabbed in the chest.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So,
interesting. I wonder how close to the heart he was stabbed. So, okay, Dr. Kendall Crowns, let's digest that. Not stabbed in the heart, stabbed in the chest. Does that make a difference in your analysis?
So it depends on where exactly in the chest you go up. But if you're kind of in the midline or to the left, that's going to be the heart. You go up a little higher, it's the aorta, which is the main vessel coming off the heart. You're going to bleed out again in just a matter of minutes from that as well. There's no saving them at the scene. You go to a little to the side, one way or another, you've punctured the chest, punctured the lung, and that'll cause a collapsed lung. That causes a lot of hemorrhage. That one you may be able to save the person if you can get him to the hospital fast enough. But from all the information I've seen, it doesn't sound like he got stabbed in the chest in the area of a lung. It's more probably centralized, hitting him in the heart.
So, Dr. Kendall Crowns, if I were explaining this to a jury, okay, I would take everything that you just said and paraphrase it in openings and closings, and I would repeat it in practically every one of my questions that I asked you on the stand. And of course, a shortened way. But you're saying there's no way twin brother Hunter could have saved Austin, because even if Hunter could have pushed down where Austin was bleeding, and so it would look like to the naked eye that he had stopped the bleeding would still be happening underneath the skin, and the blood would then be pumping straight into the lungs, so he would die on his own blood in his lungs. So, I mean, there was no way he could have saved him. Are you sure? Do you feel confident in that?
Yes.
Let me tell you one thing. I don't feel competent in his answer, and I definitely don't feel competent in Collins County medical examiner, because he or she, and I really think it's a woman, but they didn't even have the audacity to bring to court the official autopsy report and the toxicology report. I want the new judge, if the defense attorney can argue new evidence, which I think they can, but I'm not sure, but I think they can. Even if they got it buried under so many other different requests. I think on the 20th of August, we're gonna have some surprises. I think on the 20th of August, we're gonna have some surprises. So let's keep going. Even the weapon. I'm gonna play the last video
I feel
from
very
her.
confident in that. If he puts his hand on his chest and he continues digging into his chest cavity, it's going to fill up his chest cavity and it's going to make it hard for him to breathe, and he'll basically die from lack of oxygen. That actually takes longer. From the descriptions I've read from the scene, he kind of dies in a matter of minutes. To me, that sounds like a major vessel was hit, or the heart, and he was going to die no matter what was done.
17-year-old Austin Metcalf is being held by his twin brother Hunter, who is trying to stop the bleeding after 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony allegedly stabs Austin in the chest, piercing his heart. First responders arrive and take over treatment of Austin as officers round up eyewitnesses to the event to find out what happened. Hunter Metcalf is so distraught he can barely speak to police, but officers locate about 24 student athletes and 4 coaches who witnessed the stabbing and begin taking statements.
Summertime.
Now they say 4. On the arrest record, only 2 coaches. Was it 2 or 3 coaches identified? Hold on. I know it was 2. I know it was 2 females. Hold on. I got the arrest record right here. Head coach, no. Her suspect, coach. It was 4 coaches. 4 coaches that say they heard, they witnessed. Heard the suspect confess to the poking of the victim, and the 2 coaches said they witnessed the incidents. I wonder if they were called. So the 2 coaches from Centennial say they heard the suspect confess to the poking of the victim, and the 2 coaches for Independence said they witnessed the incident. I wonder if they were called, because if they wouldn't call, hold on. I'm finna show you what I'm looking at. Hold on. Something just came to me, y'all. Something just came to me. If Lakeisha Collin and Mindy Yetman, they both said they witnessed the incident from the Independence High School, right? If they were not called, because I did not see their name on Mike Howard's affidavit, y'all, what if these 2 coaches actually saw the whole entire incident, like the whole entire thing, and was going to tell the truth, but because of the secret agreement, they weren't called, just like the mother of the young man that Karmelo Anthony saved, I think it was in Louisiana, who she said if the defense would have called her, she definitely would have been there. What if these 2 coaches actually saw the whole entire incident and was going to be a defense witness, but the prosecution said, nah, you can't bring them. That's something to consider, y'all. That's something to consider. Let me go back. That's something to consider. Just the what if. Because I didn't see those names. In Mike Howard's affidavit. But if they were called to the actual prosecution team, I would definitely want to know that. But we should see. We'll see. We're going to see. We're going to get this new trial. And we're going to see exactly what was.
Expenses stacking up fast. For many, the only option is swipe.
I already played that one. Let's play this one.
Break down real quick.
Nancy, there were a total of 18 jurors, including alternates.
Watch
and
this.
On that jury pool, there were 6 minorities. So of the 18, okay, all included 6 minorities on the jury.
You're right, Dave Mack. 18 jurors, including alternates, 6 non-white, consisting of 3 Hispanics of Middle Eastern descent and Asian. 1/3 of the petit jury pool. 1/3.
So everybody just gonna gloss over the fact that not one black person was on the jury. Did you see how she glossed on that and how they glossed over that? Not one person. You was able to get 3 Hispanics, one Middle Eastern, and one Asian, and not one black. Everybody's gonna gloss over that. Just gonna gloss over that. Okay, because even I think when I looked up the demographics for Collins County and also for DeSoto, I think that's what the other one is. There were more black, Asian, and also Middle Easterns that made up the demographics for the county. So no black, not one. Okay.
33.3% non-white. Okay, that's one fallacy. The other fallacy is about the sentencing. Mr. Metcalf, isn't it true Karmelo Anthony could have been sentenced up to 99 years behind bars, but he got 35?
And eligible for parole after 17 and a half. I mean, he could still be out by 40.
And a lot of times in self-defense cases, the conventional wisdom is you're not going to win on self-defense unless you call your client. So I was hoping he would take the stand. I was hoping jurors in our community would get to hear whatever story he chose to tell.
Did Karmelo want to testify in his own on his own behalf, and was?
It was based on everything. It didn't need nothing because everything they said when it's self-defense, they have to prove it. They never proved.
That is from our friends at Fox News and The Breakfast Club.
And I still say, I don't know what Mike Howard said, because remember, I think it was paragraph 5 or 6. Mike Howard said that he was going to talk to the parents. And what he said, listen, one thing I do know that the parents said immediately after that, they said they feel like they were set up. Hold on.
The parent.
And on that jury pool.
I don't want to talk about no. I want to. We good right here. We good. Hold on. I want to hear. Let's go ahead and hear. This is right here on the spot. I want to hear exactly what they said. Hold on, y'all. You know what? I heard Jeff Metcalf. I heard what's her name? Nancy Grace. I want to hear what Karmelo Anthony parents said. Now that we know that Mike Howard had a secret agreement. Y'all, I'm finna deviate. Hold on. Before I do, I want to show you this right here because I don't want to get sidetracked. Come on with it. I don't want to get sidetracked here. So when I was opening up the live, I had said that I felt like it was my duty and my responsibility to share with you regarding some information I heard about 10 years ago. Now, of course, at that time, I didn't have a podcast. At that time, of course, this wasn't even in. If somebody would have told me I would have been doing YouTube, ain't nobody would have made me believe that I would have had a channel on a social media platform. And I said, thank God for that. Thank God for that, for covering this up from my view, right? But this is the information that I heard about it 10 years ago, and now today is almost nine years ago when I first saw the first article, when I was in a particular organization and we had to sit down and get training on this. And I said, what? I said, you know what? This just probably be temporary. But I think Avesta and myself, we was talking about this maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And then, y'all, I think this is the time. And I promise you, if I would have known this, I would have brought it to you earlier, but there's a proper time for everything. And I want to go ahead and share this with you. This is why I think that we are being attacked. This is why I think we're being attacked. Here we go. I'm going to play the family's interview after this here. For one. So I asked a question because I had to pull up the article. And this is what I recall. It was brought to my attention about 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, that the FBI had warned the administration in 2017 that white supremacists were underground and that the attacks against minorities were going to increase in 2017. So what I had to do is I had to, of course, resort to ChatGPT just to make sure I remember correctly. And then it said, racist belief or offensive speech alone are not generally not domestic terrorism. I don't know if I can say that. So at this point, I'm going to call it DT. So I hope y'all remember probably about 10 years ago, this term started becoming and started circulating, and then it went away. Okay. Look at the third bullet. A racist assault may be prosecuted as a hate crime, even when the prosecutor do not formally label it as DT. Y'all, in 2010 years ago, they were talking about labeling DT as a hate crime. So where's our hate crime bill for Black Americans? Hold on. Now go down. Racism underground. Go down. Racism underground. The FBI warned about racially motivated violent extremists and DT. Then it said, I would avoid stating that the FBI has issued a brand new warnings about an increase unless you have the exact bulletin or report, because the public FBI material I find established a sustained and significant threat, but not a specific new August 2026 warning. Do you see this? Do you see this? It says not new. I will avoid stating that the FBI has issued a brand new warning about an increase unless I have the exact bulletin or report, because the FBI, public FBI materials I found have established a sustained and significant threat, but not a specific new August 2026 warning. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. And really, these are all my slides. Now, hold on. I jumped. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. It jumped. 1 second. It jumped. All right. Mr. Karmelo Anthony. Here we go. I got to come back to this. Now, so this is what I did, and you know how I do right now. So I Googled, and you can Google the same thing. FBI on DT white supremacy, y'all. Look at the dates. June the 4th, 2019. FBI. Look at this. Let's keep going. Confronting white supremacists. Examining the Biden administration, September 2021. Confronting violent white supremacists. U.S. Department of Justice. Why is this still not ringing right now? Okay. Domestic extremists in America. Examining white supremacy, right? Governmentinfo.gov. Look, November 29, 2022. FBI. White supremacists pose the primary threat of DT. Do y'all see this right here? Business Insider. Let's keep going. So it seemed like there is a constant feed of this information, but it's not being blasted on main screen, right? It's the reason why. Okay, look at this. Let's see. FBI director warned about white supremacy violence. October 6, 2020, we was in the big P when the world was shut down. FBI director Worry testified in September that racially motivated violence extremists is the biggest category within the United States. Hold on. Do y'all see where I'm going? Look at this. Okay, I brought that up. Hold on. Look at this. More articles. September 20. Now, see, this is going back to show you proof where I heard about this 10 years ago. Next year is 2027. Okay, I'm saying all this. If people from the white community is saying, hey, black people, this is what's going on. Be careful. Watch your kids. Watch yourself around us, because we don't like this. We don't like that. We don't like your black joy. We don't like you being better than us. We are jealous of you. Take them serious. Take them serious. This is how I'm connecting the two. Take them serious. They are telling you, they're telling us, take them serious. Look at this. September 27, 2017, FBI investigating, look at this, 1,000 white supremacist DT cases. 1,000? And that was in 2017. Now, you know them cases had started piling up before 2017. So in 2017, there was 1,000. What do you think that number is today? Confronting, look, www.fbi.gov, confronting white supremacy. Look at this. Look at this one. September the 1st, 2017, at the bottom, FBI, Homeland Security warns of more Antifa attacks. Do you think these people actually went underground? No. Do you think they vanished? Do you truly believe these people vanished? Do you think they went somewhere and just vanished? No. When the FBI started sounding the alarm, all they did was went underground. And yeah, I looked up. I'm gonna let you know what I looked up. Let me see here. Senate committee finds FBI response to white supremacy violence. I didn't open it up, but I'm just trying to tell you, these are some articles. Look at this. August the 14th, 2017. This is the earliest one I found, even after 30 seconds Googling? Look at this. FBI and Department of Homeland Defense warned of growing threat from white supremacy. Do I still have it up? Do I still have up the article? There was one specific article that I wanted to share with you. Nope, I closed it. I honestly closed it. I'm gonna find it again. It's in my history. This is not gonna be the first time that I bring this up to you, because I want to continue to talk about the Karmelo Anthony case, but I also want to remind you and bring awareness to this thing. This thing is real. The FBI tried to warn us over 10 years ago that something was brewing under the scene in these dark web sites that they know about. They was trying to warn the public. Of course, this was 3 years before the pandemic, but look at us now. 6 years after the pandemic. And before I get into the Karmelo Anthony parents interview, because I definitely want to hear from them, I got curious. Y'all see, I got curious. I asked Chat GPT. I said, where is it? I said, what type of criminals normally get 30 years of a prison sentence? Violent crimes. Criminals who receive 30 years or more in prison are typically convicted of the most serious of violent crimes, repeat offenders, and large-scale federal crimes. So this is where they place Karmelo Anthony at. This is where Collins County placed Karmelo Anthony with no prior, no disciplinary actions, no prior convictions, no nothing. The Collins County placed Karmelo Anthony in this particular category here. The exact sentence depend on the jurisdiction, criminal history, aggravating factors, and sentencing law. Okay, hold on. Oh, and no, I did not do a live yesterday. No, I didn't do a live. So this category, violent crimes, first degree, premeditated. This is why they had to put this particular charge on him to make it stick. Second degree felony, multiple counts of attempted, that ain't him. Kidnapping resulting in bodily injury or death, not him. Armed robbery, they place Karmelo Anthony in the category with armed robbery, that's not him. Aggravated SA or rape, that's not him. Human trafficking, that's not him. See where they place Karmelo Anthony. Now, if Collins County really, if they had orchestrated all of this right here, and didn't get too aggressive themselves and too proud and confident in what they was doing, if they would have gave him about 5 years, we probably wouldn't even be here. Now, I will say I would have an issue with that because it was self-defense, but it wouldn't have been still after 56 days. We still wouldn't have been looking towards the 19th of August, looking towards the 20th of August, looking towards the 21st of August, and looking towards him getting released on the 20th, released with conditions, and also a new trial. But Collins County got too proudful. They got too much aside themselves. But let's go here. Also, these are some federal crimes where they place Karmelo Anthony with criminals that do this right here. Now, y'all see that racketeering? But I'm gonna leave that alone. Collins County will have to deal with other organized racketeering RICO charges. But look at this, federal charges. Crimes against kids. Listen. Karmelo Anthony.
A nightmare. Doesn't feel real. We've been up all night crying, praying, waiting for family to come in. We have some family who has made it. We just right now lost for words, waiting for him to give us a call as soon as possible.
So you haven't heard from him just yet?
We heard from him yesterday. He has actually suffered from seizures, so we actually have to bring his medicine to the courthouse. So we're waiting for him to give us instruction to get there.
We know Karmelo from the courtroom, but tell us, who is he? What kind of person is he? What kind of son is he at home?
Fair use.
He is a wonderful son. He's a wonderful student.
3.7 GPA, worked 2 jobs.
I'm sorry, baby, for cutting you off. He was actually taking online classes during all of this and still held a great GPA going through this traumatic time.
He was a kid, if I didn't say it, he was a captain of his track team, football team. He was working 2 jobs. He actually saved the kid's life. That the mom, he jumped in the pool, and saved the kid's life, which was amazing. I didn't know how great he was until this tragic.
I want to add some things to that. At home, he loves cooking, whether it's in the kitchen, outside, grilling. He makes the best hibachi. He loves running routes and playing soccer with his younger brother, Kingston. He has a brother named Andrew. He's 12, and Andrew is into doing science experiments, and Karmelo loved helping him with science experiments. He loved putting Legos together with his girlfriend. He's just a lovable, sincere child.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the world, just going through this trial, got an accurate description of who Karmelo really is?
No, we've come to find out, which we were, before all this, we were a family that basically stayed to ourselves. We were very close knitted. My wife's at home. She stays at home. I was working, and we didn't know how cruel the world could be. They have his face plastered all over after he was One while he still was a minor.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, everything was happening. We was getting threats. They doxed us. I was so clueless and so involved in work. I didn't even know what doxing was. They put our address online.
8 times.
And so we had people coming to our home. So we never had to leave in our home. Like they had us in some type of protective
Custody
thing, whatever, to get us, to keep us safe with our other kids. The world right now, it sounds unbelievable, the things that he accomplished before this tragic accident. Like it will really mess you up. And as me being a father, I didn't realize, like him saving a life. I just, as a father, I got caught up in, hey, that's what you're supposed to do. That's your expectation. Being a man, hey, that's what we do. We move on. Like him working, hey man, you're supposed to have a job. I was trying to, he was, how it is, that young. It was like, with your girl too much, man. You need to get a job, get a hybrid. So he's working, but I kept him busy too. And this whole situation, the reality of this is that somebody literally walked in his life. Literally walked into his life. He did everything by the law, and look where we at.
I want to go back to that day, that track meet. Were you guys at the event, at that track meet on April 2nd?
No, we were not. I was actually supposed to go to the track meet, but the weather was so bad, I just stayed home. It's like, Mama, don't come, just stay home.
Mm-hmm.
And now, looking back on everything, I wish I was there. I regret not being there for my child.
When did you hear the news that there had been an incident that day?
I received an email saying that there was an incident, no phone call, no anything. My instinct was because Karmelo, he's the type of child to let me know everything that's going on. And it wasn't like him to not call me and tell me what was going on. So when I received the email, we have Life 360. So I went into Life 360. I'm like, wait, they said the buses made it back to the school, but Karmelo's location is still stating that he's at the stadium. Like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. So I headed to the school, and that's how I found out what happened.
And how I found out, I was actually in a work meeting, and when she first called me, I thought it was because it was right after April Fools. I was like, oh, y'all playing this, because he doesn't, this is not him. Yeah. So I was on, oh, you playing, all right, whatever. But she was like, no, he was involved in the stabbing. So when we heard that, I didn't know what happened at the time. And they kept us from everything. Like they kept us, so we running around from place to place.
And now at this time, let's remember Karmelo Anthony at this time was a minor. Collins County must have already had the fix in. And let's not forget that Pat Fallon's U.S. Congressman, Pat Fallon's son was under that tent. Let's also keep this in consideration because, hey, who knows? Who knows was involved in that second fight? So why? Karmelo Anthony being a minor at this time, why nobody called her? Why nobody called the father? Why they had to hear it through other people? The disgrace, Collins. You mean to tell me the school, not even Centennial coach, what's his name? Harper or Hooper. If he was Centennial, you did the audacity to pick up the phone and call Karmelo Anthony's parents? Where were you, coach? Whoever the Centennial track coach was, where were you? So nobody called. And this actually, another investor brought this up to my attention. April the 2nd was on a weekday. Now, I don't know what type of track meet it was. I'm used to track meets being on the weekend, early in the morning, or unless this was, what is it called? A spring break, or this was a special event or a makeup event. But the meet was on The meet was on a weekday. So you mean to tell me nobody from the school called Karmelo Anthony parents? Let me check my calendar again. Hold on. Because I'm thinking it was on a weekday. It was on a Wednesday. Now, unless they had spring break or whatever, but normally spring break is for everybody, even if you're on the track. So why nobody didn't call the school? The head coach didn't call the front office at Centennial, say, hey, you need to get in contact with Karmelo Anthony parents immediately? Come on with it. Come on. That should be also another lawsuit. Another lawsuit.
And it was a very, everything was just moving so fast that day. I never forget. It was just like everything. Then once we found out and he went to his bond hearing. The next day, somebody doxed us. I only said a name, but a lady started making this. They try to blame it on one person, not making them about race. But you had this lady that went on to talk about white lives and all.
We already know who that lady is. If he's talking about the one that actually was leaking their personal information, she's been fired. She was fired. Once it became knowledge that Karmelo Anthony new legal team had assembled on Monday, that lady was fired on Friday. Her name was Melanie Chauffeur or Melanie something. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about.
All this other stuff, and now it went boom. The race car started about. That's how Jake Lane and all these other guys got involved in this. But at the end of the day, this was a kid situation that a lot of adults made it about their personal, how they really wanted to feel. This is the time they wanted to show on this is how we really feel about y'all. And they used my son, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you wish you had talked more, that you had said more, that you had got your story out more.
I call myself sometimes you could do the right thing, but it could be the wrong thing.
Did Karmelo want to get his story out more to the public as well?
He was trying to listen. He was trying to listen to what he was being advised.
Who? Mike Howard.
You know, hey, don't make it about race. Don't do this. Don't do this. So we was like, all right, we'll go again. We played the game they wanted. We did everything a law-abiding citizen supposed to. They told us don't do this. We did everything we supposed to. And he wanted people. Of course he wanted somebody. They got pictures of him being 17 with a dress on, saying he could be raped in jail. Like all kinds of these adults are talking about this child, but nobody's seeing it. So we can't say anything. The other family, they go paint this lie that nobody still have exposed, that he died in his brother's arms.
See?
And it was all
that's not true, because that is the narrative. Yeah.
No, you never heard it no more. That stuff was a lie. You heard about a bag. You never heard about a bag since trial. That's what I was telling people. A lie is temporary, but the truth lasts forever. It's just now, it's like harder now. I got to fight to get the truth out. He basically had to get the book thrown at him, 35 years.
Yeah.
In this county that basically, I honestly feel as though that they manipulated us with a smile. They act as if they cared, but they really didn't. When the jury selection, we seen all the people with the jury selection, I was like, baby, this is not right. But my wife is the type of person, I'm not gonna just say us, we're both the type, we try to be positive. Hey, we're not gonna look at it. That's not what it is. That's not us.
Yes, that was.
That's what it was.
So even when you noticed there were no Black jurors, it gave you pause. It made you want to say something, but you were still going along with the process.
Yeah, I was going along with the process because there's a lot of times when I hope this don't be controversial, but that's the first thing they do is they try to say we're emotional. We don't follow instructions, right? So we did everything that we was advised and told to do, and look what happened.
So who was they? You said that they told you. Who was they? Was it your defense attorney?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we were because
Mike Howard. Mike Howard. You mean to tell me that you use the race card and black stereotypes on the Karmelo Anthony family to manipulate them not to push back on your advice and to overlook a jury that had no black people. Mike Howard, you used the race card and stereotypes against the Karmelo Anthony family to manipulate them to go along with the strategy that they didn't know about behind the scenes. Man, okay, y'all, let's keep going. Diabolical.
Him being 18, so what they did was they kind of played everybody against everybody, if you could say. I'm not going to say they played us against each other, but it's almost they had him scared, like, hey, this, I'm a lawyer, this. So as me being a father, all right, you're the guy, I'm okay with playing my position, and I don't want to overstep any boundaries. Everybody kept saying, hey, to beat this.
Hold on.
I even went to some black attorneys. They're like, oh, you need a white attorney to go out there to fight out there. Remember they were telling us that?
Okay, so there we go, y'all. So there you go. Just coming back to mine. Remember why they said, why Karmelo Anthony parents didn't go and get a black attorney? Some of the black attorneys were saying, hey, you need a white attorney. This is not A Time to Kill. This is not the movie with Matthew McConaughey and Samuel L. Jackson. This was a real thing where you needed somebody to speak to. Listen, let me tell you one thing. I'm going to keep that to myself. But y'all, other black lawyers was pushing them to white lawyers. Texas, what? To all other black lawyers, why would you do that? What, you weren't confident in yourself? Why would you? Let me keep going, y'all.
They kept telling us that. So everybody like, why y'all didn't? Everybody was telling us, okay. So then when we get it, they basically tossed them over. A lot of objections wasn't done. It's a lot. It wasn't done.
So do you believe your son received a fair trial?
No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. And we're going to keep fighting. Mm-hmm. We will not stop fighting for justice for my son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard for us right now, and
Hold on, let me go ahead and address this right here. I don't know if you're an investor or not. So when I made that statement, don't take it out of context. Everybody has said that, and I have said that. Yes, I've been, even Nolan Wells, I've started including him in my context along with the other ones. A lot of people have agreed and said the same thing. Why nobody's covering Karmelo Anthony? Listen, over here, I don't do no conquer and divide BS. So you're totally right. Now, if you don't like what I gotta say over here, and if the truth hurts, please exit stage left. Please. Because you're right. I don't do no people don't fall for the conquer and listen. First, hold on. I'm finna assist you, okay? I'm finna assist you. Hold on.
At my moments,
because I've been saying this ever since for 56 days. Why everybody can't cover Karmelo and Nolan? Why nobody can't cover Karmelo and Nolan? Everybody forgot about Nolan. I'm sorry, everybody forgot about Karmelo. So I'm standing on it. What kind of mess is this?
We want our children to do better, right? We look at our YNs. This wasn't a YN. So what we gonna do about this not YN? We can make more YNs. Now you got a kid, like I just told you, everything that we're telling you right now is verified. Mm-hmm. 2 jobs with the HEB Foot Locker. That's who came to the buying him. His GPA, he still graduated through all this. He still graduated high school. He still graduated. The lady the kid he saved, this stuff really happened. He was never in trouble, and no, he was never suspended for no knife. But they had actually, what I learned was they had a smear campaign that they did. I wasn't familiar with that, and a lot of people that we were reaching out with.
What you said about knife? Whoa, hold on.
But they had actually, what I learned was they had a smear campaign that they did. I wasn't familiar.
Hold on.
Jobs with the HEB Foot Locker. That's who came to the buying him. His GPA, he still graduated through all this. He still graduated high school. He still graduated. The lady the kid he saved, that's this stuff really happened. He was never in trouble, and no, he was never suspended for no knife. But they had actually, what I learned was they had a smear campaign that they did. I wasn't familiar with that, and a lot of people that we were reaching out with, I understand business. A lot of people, they got a lot of things going on. So we was reaching out, I was emailing, but everybody want to go through, it's kind of a circle thing, which I understand. But I realized through this, black entertainment is going to have to be, a black network is going to have to be done, because I'm looking for people who would never understand.
Yeah.
No matter how much you do it, no matter how much you do, they would never see it.
You're saying that as you were watching the trial, as you were in there, you didn't want to question the process. You wanted to let it play out. But was there at any point that you felt the outcome was heading in this direction?
No. Everybody lied. Look at the report. Everybody, it's called what? It's perjury. That everybody did. Basically just did it with no, and they never was called out on it. I mean, literally they told within an hour of when it happened, it was 2 to 3 people. When they got to the trial, it was, I'm like, wait, what? Don't get me wrong, the defense said, hey, didn't you say this?
Hold on.
Told within an hour of when it happened, it was 2 to 3 people. When they got to the trial, it was, I'm like, wait, what? And don't get me wrong, the defense said, hey, didn't you say this here? Everybody. One girl made up a lie, said it was over a race, that my son just walked up. This how crazy this is.
Yeah.
One girl sat on the stand and said, he just walked up to him and said, what, you want to race?
Huh?
It didn't even make sense. Then they asked her, did you lie? She was like, on the stand.
Why didn't the defense call more witnesses?
Oh, hold on. Listen, this is my first time watching this with you, okay, Vestas? Hold on. Hey, I think we're finna get into some gusto. Hold on. Okay. All right, hold on. I gotta break this up for a little bit for the algorithm. One second. All right, so hey, as of right now, I'm glad I say, you know what? Let me go ahead and just push my line up to the side, because it really was going to be a few more clips of Nancy Grace talking about the trial before the trial. But something said, hey, go ahead and play the interview with the family. Y'all, do y'all see this right here? I am, and I already showed you one clip, and I didn't even know that I was going to show this to you tonight. We already seen in that article, the courthouse news service, where one witness on the cross-examination had changed his story, saying that Karmelo Anthony was surrounded before the stabbing. And under cross-examination, he switched it up and said, Karmelo Anthony was surrounded after the stabbing. And we also, even that one, that distorted video, Karmelo Anthony was not surrounded after the fact. He was surrounded under that tent. Now let me go ahead and play this. All right, I want to know what the parents about to say now. This is only halfway. So we almost there.
That's not my department, and I apologize for that. I don't have to.
Hold on.
Apologize for that. I don't have to.
Hold on.
Everybody. One girl made up a lie, said it was over a race, that my son just walked up. This how crazy this is.
Yeah.
One girl sat on the stand and said, he just walked up to him and said, what, you want to race? it didn't even make sense. Then they asked her, "Did you lie?" She was like, "Mm-hmm." On the stand, nothing happened.
Why didn't the defense call more witnesses?
That's not my department, and I apologize for that. I don't have.
No, I'm just, you know, you know, as you look at it, and
he said that's not my department. Or I guess he's saying he can't answer for Mike Howard. See, because even at this time, the family didn't know about the secret agreement. So I can see why he's saying, okay, that's not my department, because that Mike Howard has to answer that. Okay. New legal defense team. Hopefully you're going to call Mike Howard to the stand on the 20th and even the 19th. Because listen. Even the 19th, because in that affidavit, it's saying that John Roach knew about the secret agreement. So that also should be used against John Roach in the motion to get a new trial judge. Mike Howard should appear on the 19th and the 20th to testify and saying, Judge Roach knew all about this whole entire secret agreement to railroad Karmelo Anthony and to tie the hands of the defense attorney. Just by that statement alone, Karmelo Anthony new defense team don't have to say nothing else. Motion to assign a new judge has been granted. Clean your hands. Clean your hands. That's all. Hey, defense attorney, all you got to do, have Mike Howard be the first exhibit or have him go to the stand. Forget about John Roach interview. Forget about the interview. That'll be on the top priority, the second priority. Mike Howard should be the first piece of evidence against John Roach. I wonder if John Roach is going to come down there on the 19th. Hey, let me keep playing this. My mind is wandering now.
You know, I'm not an attorney, but I'm hearing you, and you're telling me all these wonderful things about him, and I'm just wondering, did the jury get to hear?
Nope.
You know, all of these wonderful things about Karmelo?
No, they didn't. Even when the one kid who was the corporate of all this, meaning the kid who invited him to the tent, he lied on the stand and said he didn't even know. Yeah. And they had pictures with his grandmother. Like, here's your grandmother, my son, your grandmother. Their whole family got multiple times, play basketball, all kind of different things.
I mean, all of the witnesses' statements and stories were inconsistent. So we thinking that the jury is going to notice that. But they already had their mind made up when they sat in that courtroom. Their mind was made up already.
30 minutes. Didn't I say that earlier? I said, hey, based off what the defense attorney said, he ain't never seen a jury come back and forget about the 3 hours and 30 minutes. In 30 minutes of deliberating, 12 people, not one hung juror, 12 people said unanimously, he's guilty. Come on with it. Come on, Kayla. Come on.
How big of a role do you guys believe that race played into how this case was publicly viewed and how this outcome, this sentence was handed down?
It played a big part. Race.
Thank you.
Politics, all of that. I'm like, man, the kid don't even vote. How he got into the vote? It was a lady talking about the left side and the right side. Like, what? These are kids. They put I feel like you had a certain group that of course they go blame us, that strategically made this about this because they knew they could do that smear campaign. Like they said, we went and bought a new car and house.
Yeah.
And it hurt with me without my people really believed instead of them going and doing their proper research. They had people really bashing us. I'm like, y'all really believe that? Who could buy a house in 4 days? Buy a house in 4 days. I know we may sometimes we may not make the right decisions, but come on now, like that didn't even make sense. They said we was going on extravagant trips. There's a lot of things that they did to us that just,
There was a lot of misinformation that was going around, especially, in the beginning. And you know, I know your family had to move a couple times because you were
8
doxxed,
times.
and
8
you know, I
times.
can't even imagine how Karmelo going through that, trying to finish school, fighting, you know, for his freedom, and you guys have other children, you know, so much on you as parents. How's your other children handling this?
Now we had to end up taking them out of school because they had TikTok videos with my son with semen coming out of his mouth because there's him saying go get raped in jail, and it's just like that was my daughter, my princess. She had to go through that. The other boys, we was in a pretty blessed community. That's why I hope a lot of people get this message. It don't matter where you at.
Thank you.
It don't matter where you at. Like, we was supposed to be in the safest place, but it's like they're telling us that you could be assaulted, but you better not fight back. That's what this is what this case is saying.
I told y'all that this case right here, this particular case right here, the reason why it's being suppressed, because if we keep pushing and fighting for Karmelo Anthony, I told you that this trial is going to be precedented and historic. Let's not forget what I said in the first videos. This case right here will be historic for all foundational Black Americans. Oh, yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will. Because like he stated, we supposed to get attacked. We supposed to get ambushed. We supposed to get physically harmed and don't retaliate. In whose world? In whose world? In whose world? Not ours. So they can claim self-defense, but we can't claim self-defense. We shall see. Let's not forget about this case. Let's not forget about Karmelo Anthony, because Karmelo Anthony, there is a reason, and I hate to say it, but there's a reason that God has put him in this situation, and he would be blessed. Karmelo Anthony is going to get compensated for everything. But Black America, let's not forget about this case. Let's not forget about this young man, because if we turn a blind eye and get distracted, I think the only reason that is moving, we already know that Texas had the 75-day rule, but there's a reason why mainstream media they don't even report on it no more, because they don't want Black people to start, you mean to tell me if Karmelo Anthony, once he get out, laws is going to change in his name, and then Black people will be able to claim self-defense, and it will be held up in a court of law? Let's not get distracted. Let's not get distracted. Come on, Anthony's. Come on.
They don't care. It could be 2-3 people, size. It don't matter.
Yeah.
So that's what this case is really all about. The family is saying now, I just got a message. They saying they were robbed. Okay. Now they were robbed. Now, mind you, if
they, as in the Metcalf family,
I've just got this thing just popped up saying they saying people are robbed. If we don't get the message now, and it's not because it's our child, we would never get it.
See?
This is the most crucial time ever, especially if you have kids. Because again, you see the child I'm telling you about right now.
I just said that, y'all, and I never seen this whole entire interview. Only saw clips of it. Come on with it, God. Come on with it, God. Yeah. Come on.
We all have kids like that. We sent them off to school. We sent them off just not looking for it. Again, he didn't go look for this. That's why they try to paint that picture.
Thank you.
They painted a picture, and he didn't look for this. This walked into his life. Literally, matter of fact, they say it like this. The evidence shows he jumped 3 bleachers to get to him.
Huh?
Now, so did the jury hear that information? And is that information on the video?
That's on the video.
And they had their minds made up.
Their mind was made up.
It's already made up.
3 bleachers. They some say 1, some said 3, some said 5. Their statements was inconsistent.
So every statement was inconsistent. Because we haven't seen that video. What did that video show?
Okay, come on.
The video showed, honestly, you can show that you can see him coming into the tent, sitting down, and then it's like it started getting a little like you couldn't tell the people. But you know, we're experts. Let me tell you what the DA did. They put a spotlight on the boys, right? So you could see them, right? But they never put a spotlight on Karmelo. And the reason why is because, of course, they was trying to make their side look like, oh, it wasn't that bag of push. The whole thing moved. Even the guy EP said in his statement, it was so bad to where it pushed him out the way. Because he's some pretty big kids. They're real big. Trying to make their side look like, oh, it wasn't that bag of push. The whole thing moved. Even the guy EP said in his statement, it was so bad to where it pushed him out the way. Because he's some pretty big kids. They're real big. They're bigger than me, actually. So it's like they tried to minimize their doing, but I've heard people who would supposed to be justice in Texas, if I threaten you when I'm lying, you have the right to do whatever force if you fear for your life.
Thank you.
So the video showed, I'm sorry, go ahead, Kayla.
No, he said if you fear for your life or
Seriously body home. Yeah. Oh, they were trained jujitsu fighters too.
And so the video that you all that they showed in court, it shows him running away from.
Yeah, he ran to the teacher. The teacher said the teacher he ran to a guy.
Hopper.
And the teacher he ran to actually he hugged him because Karmelo, he's not like that. He hugged the guy. Like he was freaking out. He hugged the guy. So the guy they was hugging. He was crying hysterically, and they tried to paint it as if he was trying to leave. But then in court they said it that he wasn't trying to leave.
Yeah. Now, did this teacher testify?
He did.
Yes.
Hooper.
And he also said he had to stop another kid from jumping on Karmelo, which was, guess what? Supposed to have been a person that was his friend.
Hold on.
They tried to paint it as if he was trying to leave. But then in court they said it that he wasn't trying to leave.
Yeah. Now, did this teacher testify?
He did.
Yes. And he also said he had to stop another kid from jumping on Karmelo, which was, guess what? Supposed to have been a person that was his friend.
Eddie?
The guy
Whoa. Did Karmelo Anthony father just say that after the incident? Hold on. Whoa. Hold on. No. Was he trying to say that Eddie jumped on him under the tent or after the incident? Hold on.
But then in court they said it that he wasn't trying to leave.
Yeah. Now, did this teacher testify?
He did.
Yes. And he also said he had to stop another kid from jumping on Karmelo, which was, guess what? Supposed to have been a person that was his friend.
Okay, after the incident. Oh,
the
Eddie
guy who, hey man, come on, look, hey, if you've been to high school, think about this. The guy that told you to come over here, you sitting down, the same person who could have de-escalated the whole thing, he was trying to go after him. And that's the same guy that was playing like he was videoing, but they couldn't find the video.
Eddie.
He was, the police didn't really even try to go through his phone. He even looked for the video. So he said he was acting as if he was recording.
No.
So Eddie tried to jump on Karmelo after the event. What? Oh, Eddie. Oh, Eddie. So I'm gonna lead you to your own thoughts, but I definitely got mine. Let me play this right here. I only got 10 more minutes.
Oh, when he was running, was this before or after the incident happened?
It's after the incident.
This is after the incident.
That's why they came up with the, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
That's why they came up with the narrative that he,
was running.
Yeah, he threw the knife when he his hand was cut. So it's a lot that when you do the video show, if you ever been on high school bleachers, you're not on the stairs. You know how you try to walk. So imagine trying to run up, he fell. So what you think fell? He only went up. They caught it in 3 bleachers. It was like 3 bleachers up. It was 3 bleachers up. So when you could see him get up. You could tell he dropped it. Then he stood up. He didn't know where to go. Then he ran down, fell.
Okay, y'all. Okay, so he did. Karmelo Anthony, by his father's own testament, he did have something in his hand. So Karmelo Anthony did have something in his hand.
And they was coming after him. He ran around and ran to a coach.
So did the video show the altercation of them approaching him first and then the confrontation? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you talk to your defense attorney about any of these concerns that you had as the trial was playing out, or even now that the trial is over?
Mike Howard.
100%. I mean, I'm actually praying that somebody sending somebody that we get sent somebody that can help us.
Let me tell you what, Mr. Andrew Anthony, your prayers. I know you was praying before the trial, during the trial, and after the trial. Listen, I already know that it's already after a month plus 56 days. 56 days, but I know you already know what has happened. But in 1 week after Karmelo Anthony was found guilty, God heard your prayer. You got 6 lawyers pro bono. So God heard your prayer.
It's kind of like I'm still right now in shock, so I'm just moving on and drilling right now.
So you're looking for a new defense attorney for future appeal process.
You got it, baby. You got it.
And did your defense attorney say anything about how he feels or they feel the case went?
I'm going to say they gave us the corporate answer.
Oh, gosh.
They gave us the corporate answer,
Thank you, Nuvesta.
And did Karmelo want to testify in his own on his own behalf and was
survived? It was based on everything. It didn't need nothing because everything they said when it's self-defense, they have to prove it. They never proved it.
Well, see here.
So
well,
in
Mike Howard's affidavit, he said in several times in his affidavit that Karmelo Anthony was prepared 99% to testify. And also Mike Howard said any competent defense attorney will have their client take the stands. Come on with it.
It was his pause, and a lot of people thought that we were going to come back and he was going to take the stand, and he didn't. So that was never an option. That had never been discussed of him taking the stand.
That's why we just need we need somebody who's going to fight.
Well, Mr. Anthony, I know when this trial went on, you didn't know this because Karmelo Anthony was an adult. So you wasn't in the ins and out. Y'all was just paying the bills. Y'all was just put the money aside to the lawyers, and Mike Howard was getting paid. But Mr. Anthony, yes. Karmelo Anthony was going to stand up on that stage as a 19-year-old black, intelligent young man and testify in his own defense. But it was Mike Howard. It was Mike Howard and the judge and the prosecutor had said that they didn't think that Karmelo Anthony would and should testify in his own defense. So I understand why the parents, they was like, because Karmelo Anthony was over 18, 19 when the trial happened. So the parents, he grown now. The parents is not allowed in that's he wasn't a minor no more. And that's when that what do they call it? Client attorney privilege. So Mr. Anthony, yes, he was. Oh, yes, he was.
That's what I can really say right now. We just need somebody going to fight for him. Because their whole thing was he provoked it. That was their entire case. He provoked it. that's what the whole thing was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what do you want the world to know about who Karmelo is? And
real. We feel like, I mean, it just don't feel real. He's a good kid. I mean, the receipts show that he wasn't a YN. We as adults, we're not helping with the YNs. And I know we could look at the tragedy that happened, but it was by the law. The law supposed to cover us. So anybody who feels any way different, I honestly feel like, I mean, it's okay when as long as the devil don't knock at your door. Cause I was clueless like that too. Hey man, it never happened. It would never happen to me. It would never happen to us. Cause we stayed in our lane. We worked, nice neighborhood. We were doing good, but these people basically made it their. We just had comments to where people say, "Yeah, we sending y'all back to the hood. We sending y'all. Yeah, y'all don't deserve what y'all have." He said it in court yesterday. For guys,
Jeff Metcalf.
They told my son to look at me when I'm talking to you.
who said that?
The dad, the son, both of them said, "Look at me while we talk to you." Like, oh, it's gonna come out. They said, "Look at me while we talk to you." What? Yeah,
the dad, Metcalf's father, said that to Karmelo.
And the son. The son came out. The son came out. He eventually got on the stand for the impact statement, but he didn't want to get on the stand, and I even tried to get people to. I even try to get them to call him, but it's just a lot. And I know what's going to hurt me more because this interview may push a lot of people off wanting to help us because, oh, well, you did this, man. I don't do this. I don't understand why we like that.
We good.
Like, we're all fighting for the same goal. Like, oh, man, all right, sure. Well, you said this. I can't. What? Come on, man. Like, but it's okay because you know what? It's not yours. So I totally understand it. But I just tell everybody, be careful in case that devil not.
And as parents, have you all struggled with guilt, asking yourselves, is there anything differently? I know, Kayla, you said you wish you had gone to that track meet, but as a trial has played out, is there anything that you both wish you could have done differently?
I wish I would have been rebellious and just do what
or listening to advice that you thought was.
Yeah, I was told, don't talk to this person. Don't talk to this person. I feel like it was just a setup. Now, like I said, they told us, go get white attorneys. Every black person I went to, white attorneys. The white attorneys, they set them up, pushed them. Hey, here you go. I mean, no objections. It was things moved so because as a father of me being who I am, I got to make sure she's straight. This mama bear, I got to make sure she's straight mentally because if she's not straight, my house ain't straight. I'm not straight. Then so because I got the kids to worry about. Got to make sure his mental health. I can't go back and forth with him right then there because I don't think his mental can handle it. The misunderstanding of what dad is trying to tell you. This ain't a daddy moment. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
It's not the time for me to be arguing with you about, hey, so I'm like, hey son, can you see? I know a lot of people say, well, I would have done this or I would have done that. You say that because you're not in that situation. So I couldn't do that. And me knowing my son, which is, your child, correct? You see, I don't want him to maybe want to hurt himself because I don't know what he's dealing with. He's doing a great job. He's still in school. I'm keeping him busy. We're trying to do stuff around the house. And one thing this thing did do with us, it brought our family closer. Yeah. And I worked a lot, but I didn't work that much. I was home on weekends. But to her, I worked too much. But I I was able to have this time for us to be together, and I think they did this to us because they wanted us to be in privacy. They wasn't expecting, because the tables are turned. Me and her been together since high school. It's the other side who's divorced. So that picture they painted, the houses and the cars, that was the other side. That wasn't us. We just couldn't say nothing. And then we did say something. It was like, whatever. Don't go live. Hey, don't do this. Don't say this. Hey, people gonna say what they gonna say. So so no matter what we did, we was losing.
Lose battle. You felt like it was a lose battle. Yeah. And I just have a few more questions for you. I want to, when the verdict came down, what was the first thought that went through your head?
I feel my son. So I feel like, man, I felt like I cried so much. I held back and I told her, man, I'm that dad, like, hold it up and be tight. I said, boy, you broke me. You broke me when it first happened. I never cried as much as I've cried. And it was just like when I seen him, when he grabbed it, I could still picture that man, what he's saying in there. He said it so smooth. Like the way he said it, the way he read that verdict, it was like, as such and such, he's found guilty. It was just comfortable. It was comfortable. You could tell the way he read it was no, like, damn, I'm about to say, it was, hey, look. And I told my attorney, like, yeah, we know. The hell you mean, But then if I act up, right, I'm the emotional black man.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? Oh, look at him. Then it would have been on breaking news. Oh, he done flashed out. Oh, look how that's how they had it. We got it. So I had to humble myself. It wasn't just for me and my family. It was for all of us. Because if I would have flashed out the way I wanted to, it would have been all that. You would probably be looking at, God damn it, that boy done went up there after the food. That's what they wanted.
They would have spent it.
So I played their game, and I'm just letting you know their games don't work. It's not for us. The justice system is not for us. They can't say we did anything out of what we was told. We follow all the instructions, and we follow the law. It just don't work for us.
Mm-hmm. What do you say to the people who say?
He's calling now.
Okay.
He's calling us.
Okay, Karmelo. We'll be standing with you in unison, in prayer and in the flesh for Karmelo Anthony to go ahead and get that new trial, of course, and also to get released with conditions or no conditions. I don't think the young man needs to get released with any conditions because, hey, his whole entire first trial was, as somebody said about 2 or 3 lines ago, was a mock trial. That wasn't no trial at all. So y'all be prepared for some surprises. Karmelo Anthony may be walking out of that courtroom if he's not in courtroom, when they come out and give us an update, Karmelo Anthony will be released with conditions or no conditions because the first trial didn't count at all. Listen, Judge Roach didn't read that affidavit. And if he did, he thought he was confident, or he thought somebody else in Collins County. It just as that article said. That article said another judge in Collins County was going to get the motion to recuse Judge Roach. Well, they didn't know that, hey, that motion was going to be sent down to San Antonio, Texas, to Judge Sid L. Harrell. Oh, somebody pull a trump card on that one. What was that judge's name? Judge Willis. Judge Willis said effective immediately. And then he said to the county clerk, go ahead and post it up in the building so that all the parties involved will get notified. I said, come on, Judge. Man, listen, Karmelo Anthony family, listen, everybody just in the chat, after the chat, just go ahead and put what the shirt said, #believe Karmelo. #believe Karmelo. After this video here and moving to the 19th and the 20th, everybody's going to say, believe Karmelo. What? Oh, man, this is about to be it. And tomorrow is exactly 14 days. Then after that, 13 days. After that, 12, 11, 10, 8, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4. Man, this time next week, I'm going to say next weekend on the 15th, we will have 4 more days before August the 19th, y'all. Sylvester's, y'all know I got to travel. In the morning, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the live after 2 hours and 9 minutes. But I got you. Free Karmelo. Let's see here. Free Karmelo. Come on with it. Ooh, God. I wish I can go through some of these right here. Hold on. Let's see here. Ooh. May God protect the family. Come on with it. Come on. What you say? Are you what? Every lie, there's another one. Thank you, Dorothy Sanders, for this information. Lord have mercy. Hey, how you doing, Richard? Richard Green? 27-year-old Blight. Oh my God. Whew. I'm going to leave on this one. God is using his story for all of us. And let's not forget about Vesta. Thank you. Let's not forget about Hebrews 13:3. Matter of fact, 1-3. Keep on loving each other as brothers. Do not forget to entertain strangers, for by so doing, some people have entertained angels without knowing it. Remember those in prison as if you were their fellow prisoners, and those who are mistreated as if you yourself were suffering. You already know this. I'm staying with this. I'm staying with Daryl Irving. Wow. Daniel Irving, Daryl Lowry, the young lady, oh my gosh, there's so many names. Angelique Cunningham, Dion Walton, that also was drowned on the same day as Nolan Wells on the 4th of July, out swimming with some of his friends at their house, was a mediocre swimmer, but according to them in their testimony, he decided to also swim out to the middle of a small island. It's so many. Also, Malachi Lancaster, that story out of Newberry, Florida. Y'all, it's so many. TJ Davis. Oh my gosh, it's so many. Y'all. We just got work to do. Basically, we just got work to do. And we're going to start by one. And another. Heavy is the head that weighs the crown. Black America, we are the chosen. Heavy is the head that weighs the crown. And another, until they realize, stop doing this to Black America. Spiritual judgment is on the way. Spiritual judgment is on the way. Stay in prayer, everybody. And I'll see you next time. I'll see you next time, Vestas. I wish I could have read all of these right here. I'm going to leave. Ooh, Lord. Come on with it. Come on with it. Lord, so many. Ooh. Keep fighting for the truth. He's talking about Eddie. It was a setup. Eddie tried to run up. Yes, Eddie and another kid was running after Karmelo. Let's see here. So many. See, they set him up. Eddie's going to have to answer to God. You can see it on the video. They couldn't say all that in court. Eddie can't pass a lie detector test. Eddie set him up. God got Karmelo. Oh, Lord. So many. We would keep praying that God release Karmelo. Come on with it. Man, I wish I could read all these right here. Y'all, I'm just going to have to, I tell you what. Tomorrow night, even though I'm on travel, tomorrow night, come with all of your comments. Come with all of your comments. I really hate not being able to read all of this, but I got to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning. But come with all of your comments tomorrow. Let's talk tomorrow. Free Karmelo. Justice for Karmelo. Believe Karmelo. Yes. You must ain't been in them other lives. The answer is yes. I'm going to start with Collins County. I'm also going to have a lawsuit for all of the Metcalfs. I'm going to have Collins County, the state of Texas, and even if Pat Fallon's son if this whole thing has been orchestrated for Pat Fallon's son, oh yes, the U.S. Congress also, because he's a state representative also, and the things that he said about Karmelo Anthony on Fox News, yeah, also U.S. Congress, yes, come on with it. Let's see here. It's so many, y'all. Come back tomorrow. It's so many. I want to read everybody. I want to read everybody's. Good gracious. The battle is the most high to fight. Come on with it. Amen. Gosh, I'm gonna leave. It's so many. Tomorrow night. And I'm gonna leave on this free Karmelo, and the battle is the most high to fight. All right, investors, until next time, make sure you go to get your notes, your drink, and your vest, because we stay vested up over here at Tony Talks Vested Up Compelling Sports Edge. Come on with it. All right, investors. The multiple assailant law, that is considered a deadly weapon. So that means that Karmelo Anthony, he meant deadly force with deadly force. It being circled with 4 people. 2 people together was almost 500 pounds, 440. That means he meant deadly force with deadly force. If they could have had their way with Karmelo Anthony, we would be singing a different tune. Definition of defense of property. Since Hunter just said that Austin grabbed his property before the fight took place, that means that those boys was aggressive. This young man is sitting up in the bleachers minding his own business. Let me paint the stage since Mike Howard didn't do it for the jury. He's sitting up there invited under the tent. And Tony Talks Vested Up. How you know they coming with aggression? Because we saw how they was walking up in them stands. And they went up in them stands. And Hunter just told exactly what happened. He said, we walked up to him and told him to move. Aggression. He still didn't do nothing. They tell him to move. All these multiple people, 150, 220, 220, maybe 150, 150. Ooh, it's hot. It's hot under that tent. You don't know what's going on. The original people that saw the video, it said it happened in a matter of seconds. Fast, sufficient evidence. The prosecutor has a burden of proving every element of the defense beyond reasonable doubt. If it cannot do so, the defendant is entitled to an acquittal. The prosecution has the burden of proving every element of offense beyond a reasonable doubt. If he can't do so, it said every element, the defendant is entitled to an acquittal. What did Hunter say? Didn't Hunter say, we went up to him? Oh, Hunter. Oh, Mike Howard. Oh, prosecutor Greg Willis. Oh, Judge Roach. Oh, Texas AG Ken Paxton. Multiple assailants. Multiple. That they don't think that he should have took those measures to protect his life with the weight of a middle schooler. So for everybody that's painting that Karmelo Anthony reached around in his bag and got the weapon, tell Hunter that, because Hunter just said that Austin took his bag. They want us to believe that Karmelo Anthony threw away his future for Austin Metcalf. With this 3.7 GPA, graduating the next month, no disciplinary action, captain of the football, captain of the track, and 21 scholarships. Get out of here. Get out of here.